Hey guys, so today's video is a review on a product that I've been eyeing since it came out, and it is the Real Techniques, what's this called? Miracle Complexion Sponge. And this is actually pretty new. I think it came out in September, so it's not like terribly new. It's been like 2 months since this came out, and I have been wanting to get it ever since I found out about this. You guys know how much I love Real Techniques brushes. I think they are so good for the price, and I would pay a lot more money for them because they're just so good. So when they came out with a beauty blender type sponge, I knew that I wanted to get my hands on it and I wanted to review it for you guys. So that's what I'm doing. I'm going to be comparing it to the also fabulous and famous beauty blender. Is it a dupe? I don't know. Let's find out. Okay, so I ordered my sponge online. I got it at iherb.com. I think that website has it for $1 cheaper than the Real Techniques website does. This sponge retails for $6.99, I believe, and I think iHerb has it for $5.99, and then if you order for the first time, you get $5 off, so the sponge ends up being $1, and then you pay $4 shipping. So basically this turns out to be $4.99, which is how much I paid for it, which is a crazy deal. I mean, considering the beauty blender is $20 for just one sponge. I mean, I definitely think it's worth the $20. That's how great it is, but it's a pretty penny, you know what I mean? So in this video, I'm going to be talking about all the pros and cons of this sponge, everything I think about it, and I'm going to be comparing it to my beauty blender, and I also threw in a little demo so you can see how it applies foundation. The shape of this sponge is kind of weird. I wasn't a fan of it at first, but it has the typical little pointed little egg shape at the bottom, but the top isn't round like the beauty blender is. It is like flat. So I wasn't a fan of it at first, but I love how it applies foundation because it's just like a flat surface, so it's easy to put your foundation on. So I really like that they did that little slanted flat top thing. I think it's really good. This is, by the way, what it looks like after it has been wet. I did do the demo before I sat down and filmed this, so I had already wet the sponge, but it is probably like half its size when it's dry, which is exactly how the beauty blender looks when it's dry. This is also wet. You can see in terms of size, it's pretty close match. This is just a tiny bit larger, but Jesus Christ. But they both double in size when they get wet. You can see in the little clip that I'm showing you right now, I put it under the water and I just start squeezing it and squeezing it and squeezing it until I feel like it is as big as it's gonna get. So I do that a couple times, and then I rinse it out. I squeeze it as hard as I can and get all the water out, and then I use it. I will say though, I feel like this retains water more than the beauty blender does. I feel like once you wring out the water in the beauty blender, you can squeeze it as hard as you can and water won't drip from your hand. But with this one, I feel like no matter how many times I squeeze it, there's just still a little bit more water that will drip down my hand. So really quickly, before I get into the demo, I'm going to talk some pros and cons. I'm going to tell you everything I like about it first. First off is obviously its price. It is incredibly cheap. It's 10 times cheaper than the beauty blender, and it works really well. In my opinion, this is the best dupe out there for the beauty blender. It's a lot better than the Sonia Kashuk one. And I think, I don't know if it's the Ulta brand, but the one that they sell at Ulta, it is a lot better than that one as well. This is as close, I feel like it's gonna get to the beauty blender. It pretty much gives my foundation the exact same finish as the beauty blender does. They both apply it so beautifully and like luminous, and it looks so smooth, kind of airbrushed. This puts on foundation like a dream as well, to be honest. It does. The shape is really cool. The fact that you can put on your foundation with the flat side and then kind of like roll it with the round side is awesome. It has a pointed little tip just like the beauty blender does, so you can get right underneath your eye, which is what I love about the beauty blender. So I'm happy that this one does that as well. I was really interested to see how this would hold up when I went to go wash it, because when I was on the Real Techniques website, someone said that they hated it because after they washed it for the first time, it like completely deformed and turned into like a different shape. So that kind of worried me. So I washed it 2 times since I bought it, and nothing has happened to it. Maybe she got like a crappy one or something, but it did go back to its nice little shape after I washed it. But yes, there's a but, and this is where the cons come into play when it comes to the sponge. I feel like there would be a lot more product buildup in this sponge versus the Beauty Blender. While I was putting on my foundation for the first time, I noticed that I had to do like an extra little pump of foundation to completely cover my entire face. With the Beauty Blender, that does not happen. So like I said earlier, it retains water more than the Beauty Blender does, and I feel like it retains foundation a little bit more than the Beauty Blender does. Not a significant amount, not like, oh crap, this is drinking up my foundation, ugh. But it is something I did notice. I'm being extra critical, and I want to tell you like every little detail that I noticed about this sponge, just so you can be well informed, you know? So yeah, that is one thing I did not like about this sponge, and okay, let's see if you can tell. Let's see. By looking at it, they look like they would be made by the same material, but they're not. Okay, you probably can't tell on camera. This probably is pointless, but the Beauty Blender is very bouncy. You rinse the water out, and it's like there's nothing in the Beauty Blender, like nothing. Very bouncy and springy, comes right back to life when you squish it. This one, I feel like it's like a thick barrier in between. It's like, can you tell? Let's try. This one isn't as springy and bouncy as the Beauty Blender is, so I don't know how to explain it. I don't know. So that's why I feel like it doesn't wring out the water as well, and it might drink up some of your foundation. And you could definitely tell a difference once they're both running underwater. You see that the water is just like stuck in this sponge, and you really gotta squish it out when you don't have to do that with the Beauty Blender. But that's the only con, honestly, that I found about the sponge, that it might drink up your foundation a little bit, so just keep that in mind. But like I said before, I really love this. I'm gonna go ahead and show you the demo of me applying my foundation with the sponge. I'm going to show you that right now. Okay, so for the demo, I'm going to be using the Urban Decay Naked Skin Foundation, and the reason why I'm using this foundation in particular is because I feel like the Beauty Blender applies it beautifully. I like how the Beauty Blender applies this foundation more than how a brush does, so that's why. I love the color, by the way, not that anybody cares, but I like that it's orange. And I'm just gonna use the flat side and pat. Maybe I shouldn't have put on lipstick before I filmed this. So as you saw, it does a wonderful job of applying my foundation. It applies it nice and even. It doesn't make it streaky at all. This does not give you the streaky look at all. If you have a problem with your foundations looking really streaky, then yeah, I definitely recommend this. So yeah, in conclusion, I give this product 2 thumbs up. Do I think it's an exact dupe of the Beauty Blender? No, I do think the Beauty Blender is better, but I feel like this is as close as it's gonna get. It's hard to beat this, guys. It's hard, and you know, not everybody's, I don't think anybody's ever gonna make an exact dupe, but this guy is like coming close. Okay, so I think that's everything I have to say about it. If you have any questions, leave them down below. By the way, I don't know how to write back to comments anymore. I don't know what happened, what Google did or something, but I cannot write back to you guys. There's a bunch of questions that I was gonna answer yesterday when I was on my laptop, and it doesn't let me reply to comments. Like, do you guys know if like the fact that YouTube updated with Google or something, like how do I reply to you guys? Help me, I don't know. But yeah, anyway, thank you so much for watching, guys. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!